What if the youngest MVP the NBA has ever seen, a player who once excited the league, now fights just to stay in the game? This is the story of Derrick Rose, a journey filled with hope, dominance, and a fall so sudden it shook the entire basketball world. His career wasn't just about injuries, it was about resilience, heartbreak, and the thin line between greatness and tragedy. In the NBA, everything can change in a moment, and for Derrick Rose, it did. Loving the content? Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got way more fire coming your way. To understand the tragedy of Derrick Rose's prime, you have to first see how incredible that prime was. Born and raised on Chicago's South Side, Rose wasn't just another talented kid dreaming of the NBA. He was a once-in-a-generation athlete with something special. After dominating at Simeon Career Academy and leading Memphis to a crazy 38-2 season, Derrick entered the 2008 NBA draft with the whole basketball world watching. The Chicago Bulls, his hometown team, won the lottery and picked him first overall, a decision that would change both his life and the future of the franchise. Right from the start, Rose made a huge impact. In his rookie year, he became only the third rookie ever to put up a triple-double. His mix of lightning speed and sharp court vision earned him Rookie of the Year in 2009. But that was just the start of something extraordinary. What made Rose stand out wasn't just his speed or his jaw-dropping 40-inch vertical leap, though that certainly turned heads at the NBA Combine. It was the way he attacked the game without fear, crashing to the rim like no one else, making shots that looked impossible. Chicago hadn't seen a player like him since Michael Jordan, and suddenly the city started dreaming big again. Championship big. Let's rewind to the 2010 to 2011 season. The year Derrick Rose didn't just play basketball, he redefined it. At just 22, Rose was putting up jaw-dropping stats: 25 points, nearly 8 assists, and over 4 rebounds per game, while leading the Bulls to a franchise-best 62 wins. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. Rose was pure magic on the court. His speed and crazy leaping ability made him dominant. Defenders couldn't keep up as he darted through traffic, twisting and turning midair, scoring over guys twice his size. Those acrobatic finishes, they became instant highlights. And in clutch moments, Rose showed the heart of a true superstar. There's one moment from that season that says it all. During training camp, Rose boldly said, "Why can't I win MVP?" Some saw arrogance, but Rose explained, "I wasn't trying to be cocky at all. I knew I put a lot of hard work in over the summer. I just wanted to push myself." When the votes came in, the answer was clear. Rose earned 1,182 points and 113 first-place votes, blowing past Dwight Howard by a huge margin. At 22 years and 7 months old, he became the youngest MVP in NBA history, a kid from Chicago's South Side standing on the highest basketball stage. But then, the story takes a heartbreaking turn. In 2012, the Bulls entered the playoffs as the top seed in the East. The city was dreaming of a championship, and Rose was set to be the new king of the league. Then, April 28, 2012, a day that still haunts basketball fans. In Game 1 against the 76ers, with a comfortable lead and just over a minute left, Rose drove to the basket like he always did. But as he planted his left foot to cut, something snapped. Rose fell hard, clutching his knee in pain. The news was crushing: a torn ACL. His MVP season was over, and with it, the prime of his career was shattered. What made it even crueler? The injury happened during what should have been garbage time, when the game was won. Rose needed surgery and missed the entire next season. But it wasn't just the injury itself that was tragic, it was what it symbolized. At that moment, Rose was the NBA's new superstar. Derrick Rose's devastating ACL injury in 2012 felt like the start of a nightmare, but heartbreakingly, it wasn't the end. What came after was a brutal cycle, moments of hope followed by crushing setbacks that pushed Rose to his limits, both physically and mentally. After missing the entire 2012-13 season, Rose came back in 2013-14 with everyone holding their breath, wondering if he could still be that explosive MVP. But just months later, in November 2013, another cruel twist: a torn right meniscus. That injury wiped out the rest of his season and became a heartbreaking pattern. Every time Rose seemed ready to shine, injury knocked him back down. Take the 2015 playoffs. For a fleeting moment, it looked like the old Rose was back. Against the Bucks, he averaged 21.5 points per game and dropped 34 in Game 3, reminding fans of his peak brilliance. But even those flashes couldn't hide the truth. His body was breaking down. Sports analysts now say Rose's injury history rewrote his entire playing style. Those fearless drives to the basket, they became rare. The mental toll of fearing the next injury was just as heavy. Critics and fans alike began to question whether he would ever return to his MVP form. A 2024 analysis sums it up perfectly. What many don't fully get is how repeated injuries wreck more than the body. They break the spirit. Rose's game was built on explosive athleticism. When that disappeared, he had to reinvent everything. On top of that, the constant worry about getting hurt again weighed on him. Look at the stats. After averaging 25 points a game during his MVP year, Rose never again hit those numbers consistently. He got smarter with his shots, more efficient, but those jaw-dropping, game-changing moves, they became rarities. To survive, Rose sharpened other parts of his game. He learned to be patient, crafty with his shot selection. Floaters, push shots, ways to score without banging into defenders. In fact, during the 2020-21 season, he led the league with an incredible 53% shooting on floaters and runners. That shows his grit and basketball IQ. As Derrick Rose's career slowly shifted from being the Bulls' shining star to hopping from team to team as a role player, fans and basketball lovers everywhere were left asking the same question. What if? What if his body hadn't betrayed him? What if he hadn't been forced to step back so soon? Rose's MVP season in 2011 was historic. At just 22 years old, he became the youngest player ever to win the award, a milestone that showed the world he wasn't just a talented player, but an inspiring force in the game. As one recent analysis put it, his 2011 MVP season not only made him the youngest player in NBA history to win the award, but also solidified his place as one of the most inspiring figures in the sport. But here's the heartbreak. That MVP year was just the start. Most NBA stars hit their peak well into their late 20s or even early 30s. LeBron James and Stephen Curry, for example, got better with age. Derrick Rose should have had nearly a decade of top-level basketball ahead of him. Instead, injuries shattered those dreams. And it wasn't just Rose who suffered. The Chicago Bulls, built around him, never fully recovered. What could have been a championship dynasty ended up stuck in mediocrity, watching the prime of their young star slip away. Derrick Rose has officially retired, closing a chapter marked by brilliance and heartbreaking what-ifs. His story shows how fragile greatness is, especially when injuries strike. By 22, Rose had already achieved more than most players do in a lifetime, but what came after remains a mystery. It's a tale of cruel twists, how a young man from Chicago rose to the top, only to face setbacks beyond his control. His biggest victory may not be the MVP trophy, but the courage to keep fighting and inspiring despite it all. Rose's journey reminds us to cherish greatness because, in sports and life, nothing lasts forever. Could he have been one of the all-time greats if not for injuries? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more deep basketball stories.